With what we've seen are two harrowing years where India has battled COVID, and those fighting right on the front line are doctors. Today, viewers, is Doctors' Day. The Prime Minister himself took the lead in paying homage to our men and women in white coats. In his address, Prime Minister thanked the doctors to have worked tirelessly and to save lakhs of lives amidst the deadly pandemic. Prime Minister compared doctors to gods and added that doctors have changed the course of our lives. He mentioned that central government has allocated 15,000 crore as special fund to increase the health infrastructure in the country. Also thanked doctors and medical practitioners for promoting yoga and wellness.
आज जब देश कोरोना से इतनी बड़ी जंग लड़ रहा है तो डॉक्टर्स ने दिन रात मेहनत करके लाखों लोगों का जीवन बचाया है। ये पुण्य कार्य करते हुए देश के कई डॉक्टर्स ने अपना जीवन भी न्यौछावर कर दिया। मैं जीवन आहूत करने वाले इन सभी डॉक्टर्स को अपनी विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं और परिवार के प्रति अपनी संवेदना व्यक्त करता हूं।
Listen in to Dr. Guleria, AIIMS director, on the occasion of Doctors' Day.
साल से डॉक्टर जो हैं इस लड़ाई में लड़ रहे हैं और हमें अप्रिशिएट करना चाहिए कि उन्होंने कितना काम किया है। उन डॉक्टर्स को याद करना चाहिए जिन्होंने इस लड़ाई में अपनी जान दे दी, और उनको याद करते हुए हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि हमें ऐसे सिचुएशन क्रिएट करनी है कि आगे इतने ज़्यादा केसेस ना बढ़ें, चाहे कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर हो, चाहे वैक्सीनेशन हो, उसको हम पूरी तरह से आगे लेके जाएं, जिससे हॉस्पिटल्स पे स्ट्रेन कम पड़े और एडमिशन्स कम हो और डॉक्टर्स पे स्ट्रेन कम पड़े।
All right, viewers, let's move on with India putting in diplomatic pressure after EU had not included Covishield in issuing the green pass to India where the Covishield vaccine is concerned. Many countries have now relented. Covishield will be part of the green pass for them. Here's the full report.
Can you travel to Europe in the near future? This has been the question doing the rounds for the last few days. And now some countries have finally approved Covishield beneficiaries. 8 European Union nations and Switzerland have approved Indian vaccine Covishield. EU nations Spain, Greece, Germany, Austria, Slovenia, Iceland and Ireland have confirmed including Covishield in their Green Pass. Estonia has approved all vaccines in India, Covishield as well as Covaxin. These nations availed the option given by the EU authorities to allow beneficiaries of WHO-approved vaccines.
EU member states can accept vaccines that have received the EU-wide approval, the authorization from EMA. But the regulation of the digital COVID certificate also leaves open to member states the possibility to accept vaccination certificate issued with relation to vaccines that have been authorized by the World Health Organization.
Interestingly, these countries have approved Covishield after India reached out to EU with a counter-offer.
While European Union is still deliberating upon clearing India-made vaccines, India has engaged European countries bilaterally outside of the ambit of the European Union, saying that national decisions taken by European countries to clear India-made vaccines would be met with reciprocity and allowing quarantine exemptions for those who are recipients of European vaccines and want to enter India.
India raised the no nod with EU at the highest diplomatic level, with Minister Jaishankar also speaking to top European Union officials. And these efforts have paid off, as countries are now giving the stamp of approval for India's vaccines. With Geeta Mohan, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let's get you the very latest right now. Coming in, my colleague Gaurav Sawant, our senior executive editor, interviewed exclusively General Narawane, the army chief, talked about the new age conflict that India faces, including drones.
General, we have a very strong counter-terrorism grid in Jammu and Kashmir, but is this nature of warfare changing in terms of, so yes, as you've explained, we have multi-tiered grid in Jammu and Kashmir. They may be able to stop terrorists. How will they stop drones? How do we counter the threat of unmanned aerial vehicles in the hands of either state, non-state or state-supported non-state elements in this hybrid or grey zone warfare?
Well, the easy ability of drones, and in fact, you can even make it at home as a do-it-yourself project, definitely increases the complexity and the challenges that we have to deal with. We are seized of this problem, and we have put in place certain measures. I would not like to elaborate too much on all of them for obvious reasons. But all our troops on ground have been sensitized to this evolving threat, and we are developing capabilities to deal with that, whether by state-sponsored or by states themselves. We are developing the capabilities to deal with them, with this drone threat, both in the kinetic and in the non-kinetic realm. So I think this is a continuous battle. Over the centuries, this has always been the case. Capability is developed, another capability is developed to counter it. Then another capability goes further up. So this seesaw battles between drones and counter-drone technologies will continue. And this is how the character will keep changing, and we will have to keep adapting to this if we have to succeed.
General, you've been quoting General Julia Duhe, speaking of victory, smiling on those who anticipate changes in the character of war. Is the use of drones in this hybrid war that change in the character of war? Did we anticipate it, General, or are we now trying to adapt?
Well, as you quite rightly mentioned, that the character of warfare has been changing continuously, and the advent of drones and counter-drone systems has radically altered the way we think and how we will be having to fight in the future. With their ease of availability, drones can be easily accessed and can be used by both state and non-state actors. So we will also have to factor this in as we go along and make our plans. But I would like to assure you that we are fully seized of this issue, and we are working towards making sure that we are not found wanting in this regard.
Like the terror attack that took place at the Jammu Air Base, can we prevent the next terror strike?
Drones will be increasingly used in all sorts of combat in the future, both by state and non-state actors. And we will have to factor this in all our future planning that we do. And as I mentioned in my address, we are catering for both the offensive and use of drones, as also focusing on the defensive measures or the counter-drone systems or measures that we need to adopt to prevent any attacks on our critical facilities by drones and their use whether by state or non-state actors.
All right, viewers, Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramanna, has spoken out saying that criticism, dissent is very much a part of the democratic process. However, at the same time has also said that judges should not get swayed with social media.
While there is a lot of discussion about the pressures from the executive, it is also imperative to start a discourse as how social media trends can affect the institutions.
Protests are part of a democracy.
Any law backed by a sovereign must be tempered by certain ideals of tenets of justice. Only a state that is governed by such law can be said to have the rule of law.
Social media, the challenge of our times.
The new media tools that have enormous amplifying ability are incapable of distinguishing between right and wrong, good and bad, and the real and fake. Therefore, media trials cannot be a guiding factor in deciding cases.
On Wednesday, Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramanna, spoke at the P.D. Desai Memorial Lecture, and his focus was on the major issues India is currently facing. And there was plenty of plain speak, particularly on politicians.
The 17 national general elections held so far, the people have changed the ruling party or combination of parties 8 times. The mere right to change the ruler once every few years by itself need not be a guarantee against tyranny.
India's top judge was clear that the independence of the judiciary cannot be rattled.
The idea that people are the ultimate sovereign is also to be found in notion of human dignity and autonomy. The masses have performed their duties reasonably well. Now it is the turn of those who are managing the key organs of the state to ponder if they are living up to the constitutional mandate.
He warned his own fraternity against the media noise that could affect the decision-making power of judges.
While there is a lot of discussion about the pressures from the executive, it is also imperative to start a discourse as how social media trends can affect the institutions. Judges should not be swayed by the emotional pitch of public opinion either, which is getting amplified through social media platforms. Judges have to be mindful of the fact that the noise thus amplified is not necessarily reflective of what is right and what is majority believes in.
For those who followed Justice Ramanna's career, his views don't come as a surprise. His passion for civil liberties has not waned even after occupying the highest judicial chair in the country. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, those in Delhi might have noticed that we are in the grips of this massive, horrible heat wave. Well, it is going to continue. That's the sad part. For the next 3 days is what the Met Department says. As per IMD, the heat wave conditions will persist. But we are hoping that finally the monsoon will hit in the next 1 week. The IMD, in fact, had predicted that the monsoon will hit North India about 1 week ago, so behind time. But till then, for the next 3 days, a massive heat wave is predicted. All right, let's move on right now. The latest coming in as India prepares to go to Tokyo for the Olympics. Something that India is not very happy about. What is it? Find out.
Weeks to go for the Grand Olympics 2020 in Tokyo. Preparations are on a war footing to hold the games amid a pandemic. Strict regulations have been put in place for athletes arriving from 11 countries where COVID cases are high, and that includes India.
The rules which are imposed to Indian contingent is more of a harassment, what I feel, because they have been asked to get PCR tested for continuous week before traveling to Japan. And of course, that will jolt their commitment and confidence.
Athletes coming in from India have to undergo daily COVID tests for a week prior to their departure and also remain isolated for 3 days upon arrival in Tokyo. These norms are only for specific countries, and it hasn't gone down well with the Indian Olympic authorities.
In the light of the pandemic, the Tokyo Olympics 2020 organizing committee have imposed strict rules on those coming in from other foreign countries, specified by the organizing committee, including India, that have reported different variants of the virus. It has led to a lot of criticism from the Indians living in Tokyo.
We spoke to Indians living in Tokyo on these regulations, and many opined that it is indeed unfair.
I feel every country form an integral part of Olympics. So each and every country has to be represented equally in Olympics. So I feel that putting restrictions on only a few countries it does not make much sense.
But there are also many in the Indian diaspora who believe that these norms are the need of the hour to ensure there is no COVID spread in Tokyo.
Like India is still in the blacklist. I don't think there is anything wrong with these restrictions on Indian players.
I think it's good that they have imposed some good rules, and they should not allow everyone right now, because in Japan still we don't have such problems with the corona, and I don't think that if they will allow it, it can create some problem.
It's a matter of life and death. So yes, we should be very cautious of this, and as we always know that guests to a house have to obey the rules of that house. So let's not take it too much on the rules part, and let's be safe. I would like to wish our country all the best and stay safe.
The Tokyo Olympics has been marred by controversy, with protests also rocking the city, opposing the games being held amid a pandemic. But authorities have made it clear that all norms are in place to ensure a safe Olympics this year. India too is hoping to bag several medals. 86 Indian athletes, including 2 teams, have so far qualified for the Tokyo Olympics, and we're aiming high. India is hoping to send over 111 athletes as part of the contingent.
It is clear, no matter how strict the rules are or how many debates are raised, the Indian diaspora here is waiting to cheer for the fellow Indian athletes during Olympics 2020. With Paulami Burman from Tokyo for India Today.
I'm going to go into... Welcome back. You're watching a fact check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp groups. There's an image floating about suggesting, you might have got it on various WhatsApp platforms, that volunteers at Tokyo Olympic will be given medals with the word Swayam Sevak. The fact check on that is false. No such announcement has been made by the International Olympic Committee. For that quick fact check, time for us to go into a quick break, but to stay with us. On the other side, it's To the Point.